Ladies and gents, it has been a good few weeks since the last video. I got on some sort of momentum streak where I was uploading videos and everything was going basically according to plan and like everything that I wanted to happen. And then I was sick for weeks and then I just forgot about the whole platform, to be completely honest. There was just a couple of days where I thought about, actually uploading to the schedule. And then when it actually got down to it, I never ended up doing it. I do apologize because we are currently in the depths of the NBA offseason. There is really not a lot going on. We had one trade today, which happens to be the team that we're covering today, the Boston Celtics. There was a trade for Georges Niang, who basically stopped over for a month for the Celtics and is now getting shipped out to the prison known as the Utah Jazz. Yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, middle of the off-season, Georges Niang's probably back home, enjoying his off-season, having his holidays, looking at houses in Boston, and then next thing you know, he has to move again. So I don't know. It makes really no sense to me that we can have trades this far into the off-season. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on and there's still players being talked about. For the most part, a lot of the moves that were meant to be done in this off-season have already been done. For the Celtics, it has been quite the off-season. Obviously, for starters, you had to look at your expiring contracts and how much your starting five was actually worth. And between Kristaps, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford, who is currently on an expiring deal, but he's still getting paid a hell of a lot for an old person, they're all on a hell of a lot of money. And they needed to make moves this offseason to cut back at their books and not have to pay a ridiculous amount of money. And that they've done. But in doing that, I don't know what sort of direction that I'm looking at for the Celtics in terms of a competitive team that has their best player out for the next 12 months with an Achilles injury. You brought in Anthony Simons in a pretty much one-for-one deal with Drew Holiday. So Drew Holiday goes back to the Portland Trailblazers for the second time. This time, I believe he will actually suit up in a Trailblazers uniform because I don't think there's any teams really looking for him. There's a couple of Los Angeles teams that are kind of been linked to Drew Holiday and his services, but we don't really know for sure what's going to go on there. But I believe at least for, the start of next season, he will be in a Portland Trailblazers uniform with Damian Lillard. Anthony Simons, hell of a player. He will fit into Joe Mazzulla's scheme of shooting the ball a hell of a lot because we know Anthony Simons is a hell of a good three-point shooter. He just has been on the Portland Trailblazers for the last few years and it's kind of ruined what, viewership has seen from Anthony Simons. Now that he's actually on a big market team, he might actually get the viewership that he's deserved his whole career. Because Anthony Simons is a hell of a basketball player and he deserves to get that recognition. Kristaps Porzingis, the other one, he had to go. I didn't see really a world where Kristaps was going to stay on this roster. For the amount of production that he was giving that roster and that scheme and everything that they wanted in the Boston organization, he wasn't really going to hang around. So he has now gone to the Atlanta Hawks. And, I mean, for Atlanta, it will work. I don't know. I just see Kristaps being a really good fit with the likes of Trae Young. It will be productive for both sides. Obviously, for the Celtics, I think majority of the moves that they've done, they've still been able to keep their core around. You've still got Jaylen Brown, who is arguably on some nights the best player on that basketball team. You've got Jason Tatum, who, according to some reports that I read a couple of weeks ago, he's actually making good progression with his injury, and they are actually hoping for him to be back before the end of the regular season, which, for an Achilles tear, is a really impressive development time. Like, if you can get it back from an Achilles in 9 to 10 months, I will be very impressed. But who knows? For the most part, you're basically ruling Jason Tatum out for this whole year. That's basically what you're looking at. But luckily for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they've still got a huge window ahead of them. They're both 27, 26 years old. They're going into the prime of their careers. So once Jason Tatum comes back, you may as well, at least for this season, I'm writing the Celtics off. They potentially make a play-in playoff spot, considering, how the Eastern Conference is and all of that. But I don't see them making any noise this year. Even if Jason Tatum comes back when they're saying Jason Tatum comes back, I don't see a world where they really shake up the league too much. It'll just be depending on the development over the next 18 months. You've obviously still got Peyton Pritchard, who just come off winning a Sixth Man of the Year award. It will be just interesting to see what Peyton Pritchard's ceiling is. Because Peyton Pritchard is a really good six-man option, really good shooter, can give you a lot of things on a lot of nights. But a couple of things with Peyton Pritchard is his defense. You never know what sort of defense you're going to get from Peyton Pritchard, considering, how short he actually is. And the development of other guys. Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser, for the extent of his career, has been just a shooter. That's it. He shoots the basketball. One of the best players in the world, probably, at shooting the basketball. But it's the extent of his role on the Celtics. It's the extent of his abilities as so far that I've seen as a basketball player. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of development we get out of Sam Hauser as well. Al Horford has been on the trading block for the last 2 months. I've seen him linked to the Warriors for months and months. For the record, the Warriors, we don't need another old guy. Our whole roster is already 40 years old. I don't want another one. But that's just me. I'm just going off, what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. We don't need another 40-year-old on the roster. But that's a discussion for when I'm speaking about the Warriors. For the Celtics right now, it is about keeping the core together. And just, if you write this year off and you maybe get good trade value for Anthony Simons, or you package up Peyton Pritchard, an expiring contract in Al Horford sometime during the mid-season, something like that. That just builds them up, gets them another decent role player. Nemias Queta for their center position has given them great minutes last season. He did play really good minutes for the team during the regular season. Just for whatever reason, when they went to the playoffs, Joe Mazzulla didn't see his services necessary. So he just said, sit at the back of the bench. We don't need you. That will not happen this year, however. I feel like he will play a big role on this Celtics team, considering outside of getting rid of both, Georges Niang was one of their big guys, and he just got shipped out to Utah. Kristaps Porzingis was their tallest player by a long mile on that team. Al Horford is too old to play center. And you brought in Luka Garza, but I don't know what you're going to get out of Luka Garza, to be completely honest. It'll be a bit of an only time can tell sort of situation. Because Luka Garza has had spurts, but unfortunately for the extent of Luka Garza's career, he's only ever had spurts. So you really can't go too far into his basketballing ability when I'm yet to see him get real rotational minutes. So that will be judged when I see him play those rotational minutes, and we will sort of go from there. But yeah, it's just for this next 12 months, the Celtics, if you win games, you win games. If you lose games, you lose games. That would probably be the win-win for, a first round, second round would be a big win for the Celtics this season. Depending on Tatum's health, Tatum will come back, but it's just whether he is the full extent of himself as a basketball player. Because I don't know if he will be that. But anyway, that's basically it. That's the Celtics as a wrap. They're still a really good basketball team. There's no denying that. But just without Jason Tatum this season, I can't really speak too much on what they're trying to achieve this season because it's really any guesses. Like, you want to win a championship, but you also want to win a championship with Jason Tatum on your team. And that probably will not happen this year because, as I said, injuries, rest, a lot of things will go into it. Anthony Simons, I don't think is quite there yet when it comes to like playoff experience. Honestly, you can't tell because he's never actually been to the playoffs, but we'll soon find out because the Celtics will at least make a playoff spot this season. That is my prediction. That's what I think is the limit for this team. Provided Al Horford stays on the roster, provided Nemias Queta gives them the good minutes that I think he is going to give them. A lot of things go into it, but that's sort of not for today. That's all I've got for the Celtics today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Videos are back and they will be coming thick and fast. I promise you that. The short form stuff is coming. I promise you the short form stuff is coming. I'm just trying to work out a couple of little things, especially a profile photo. I'm yet to take a profile photo on myself, and at the moment my YouTube still makes me look like a robot because all my profile photo is the letter B. So I'm getting there. Trust me, I'm getting there, but I just want to get those couple of things sorted out and then the short form will come. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys very soon with another video. Clippers are next, so Clippers fans, get in. Next video is coming, is all yours. Thank you guys.